Welcome to December. It's December 1st, just a month away from the end of 2020. And what will 2021 hold for us? Who knows at this point? I'm sure it'll be exciting no matter what. Especially January. Isn't it January? Well, I guess no, it'll be this month. No, it's January. That's the tail end of how long Trump has to prove the election is a sham. And we'll see how that plays out. And we've already talked about the possibilities either way. So we'll see. But hey, until then, we'll be watching closely. Watching not just our mainstream news, but all different kinds of sources, and hopefully not even your mainstream news. I can't even turn it on half the time. Sometimes I will, just to see what the narrative is, what the mainstream narrative is, but that's about it. It's all programming, all mind control. It's all garbage. So we really have to use our discernment these days to find the right sources and find real truth out there. We know the internet, most of the social media companies are stomping down on all forms of, we can say truth. It's anything against their narrative, really. I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much if you were able to check out the show yesterday, if you were live or you watched it later. And a very special thanks to each and every one of my guests yesterday. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Everybody from a different place, have a different view. I love that. I really do. So thank you so much for joining in. It's a lot of fun. All right, man, let's get to it. We've got quite a bit to look at tonight. So let's do that. Let's fix that screen. And I think we are ready to roll. This is from Spain. A young woman in Spain is tased after trying to bring her mother to a psychologist appointment. This violated the clinic's policies on patients bringing people with them to appointments due to, you know what, the Crown 19. So they called the coppers, and this is what happened. This young lady was just trying to take her elderly mother to the hospital. This is, it reminds me of the Stanford prison experiment. Have you ever heard of that? It happened a long time ago. But they just took civilians, put them in a prison, and they split them down the middle and made some of them guards and the other ones prisoners. And they just conducted an experiment, see how long it'd go and see what happened. And well, it turned out really bad. Eventually, the guards became little dictators and were actually brutalizing some of the prisoners. And they had to stop the experiment eventually. And there have been other experiments like that since. But the sad truth is that with the power that's being dispersed right now in all these different ways to all these different cities and governments and police forces and everything else, you're still going to have some people who are going to be good and reasonable. But unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of people who dig this. You know, they like this. They enjoy the power. They've been waiting on something like this. They're going to abuse it. Bring her mom to the hospital, and this happens. It's unreal. Someone needs a haircut. I know that much. Yeah, I'm not RuPaul over here or anything. I'm not a fashion queen, but come on. Do something with that. All right, moving on. Nearly 19 million Americans could lose their homes when eviction limits expire on December 31st. I think there's a story here.
Millions of Americans could soon be forced out of their homes. A federal eviction moratorium is set to expire at the end of the year. The protections were initially part of the CARES Act, which Congress passed back in March. but those expired at the end of July. The CDC stepped in after Congress failed to reach a new stimulus deal. Using its authority under the Public Health Service Act, the CDC put a new ban on evictions. Now that ban is set to expire on December 31st. For more, I'm joined by CBS News Money Watch reporter Irina Ivanova. Thank you so much for joining us, Irina. Today, how many Americans are we talking about that could lose their homes in the coming months?
There have been some estimates out on this, and they're a little bit all over the place, but we're talking about millions and millions of people potentially in any situation. Just last week, we saw a report from the University of Arizona and the National Low-Income Housing Coalition. They looked at census data, and they figured that about 7 million, nearly 7 million households could be evicted at the end of this year. That translates to
I won't play the whole thing. This is like 7
people.
minutes long, but are any of you benefiting from the CARES Act? Did any of you out there need the CARES Act for rent? And there's no shame if you did. And obviously, nobody saw this coming. Well, people did. We didn't realize that until after. It was a select group of people saw all this coming because they planned it. But many of you have been hit, I'm sure. And if you have, I'm just curious if you guys have used CARES Act and how that all worked out for you. Hope everything's okay. This is nuts. Look at this. If we can get past all the ads, Mail Online is absolutely the worst. British Army's Information Warfare Unit will be deployed to tackle anti-vax scheme propaganda, they call it, ahead of the jab rollout. The jab just sounds vicious, doesn't it? I don't want you to jab me. The British Army's Information Warfare Unit, we got that. Soldiers are already monitoring cyberspace for Crown 19 content to find out how British citizens are being targeted online, leaked documents show. It comes amid a rise in the number of anti-lockdown and anti-vax scheme protests taking place around Britain, as 3 potential vax schemes were found to have around 90% effectiveness. The Defense Cultural Specialist Unit was launched in Afghanistan in 2010 and is tied to the Army's 77th Brigade, which often works with, here's my favorite part, psychological operations teams, reported the Sunday Times. So they're literally putting the psychological operation teams on people online in Great Britain who are against the vax scheme. Gee, I wonder why they would do that. Makes me wonder. A probe into the vax scheme disinformation from hostile states, including Russia. Of course, it's always Russia, right? It's Russia, Russia, Russia. Okay, we will see how this works out, guys. But we see all these stories about how the police, and we've even some footage, and we see it week after week about how certain sectors all around the world are starting to militarize all this. And there's even certain sectors that won't let you fly. That's coming up soon, too. That'll be, portions of that are in a new video I'm working on now. I'm just waiting on a couple more pieces because they're really showing the cards now. You know, a lot of these people are going all in. A lot of these countries, governments, or states. It's that division we're seeing, I believe. And people are showing who they are. And there's a lot of people who are totally on board with this, with what's coming. And they know it's a sham. That's why you're constantly seeing these people, at least in America, the governors, some of the mayors passing these draconian laws, locking people down hardcore, and then you'll find them at a party the next night not wearing a mask, sipping cocktails with the so-called elite. They're not afraid of it. They know better. They know what it is. And it's not some deadly virus that's going to wipe out humanity. Juno actor Ellen Page publicly comes out as transgender male named Elliot and tells fans in a statement, "My pronouns are he and they. As a wife of 2 years, says I support you," but there's always the 33, not always, but a lot of the times. Here it is. 33-year-old Oscar-nominated actor took Twitter on Tuesday morning to share an emotional statement with the revelation. There you go. There she is. Or I guess he is now. It's Elliot. It's Elliot. Here's Elliot. Everything inverted. We don't make fun of these people. These people are lost. They're in a trap. The way I see it. It's not something to mock and ridicule. It's got to be painful, too. Really, if you think about it, people who go through this process and in their minds, and they feel they're the other sex and all this other, it's got to be painful. It's got to be crazy. I know. If I say they need Jesus, people get mad at me, but that's what I say. Kowloon walled city, a population density nightmare. Just want to share this. It's really interesting imagery. Kowloon walled city was a largely ungoverned. This is an old story, but I still thought it was cool. I wanted to share it. It was a largely ungoverned Chinese settlement in Kowloon, Hong Kong, comprising of 350 interconnected high-rise buildings. Here's your 33 again, though, where 33,000 residents lived within a plot measuring just 210 meters by 120 meters. Originally a Chinese military fort, the walled city became an enclave after the new territories were leased to Britain in 1898. Its population increased dramatically following the Japanese occupation of Hong Kong during World War II and reached a peak of 33,000 residents. In 1987, when it was demolished in 93 and 94, it was thought to be the most densely populated place on Earth. Anyway, here's some of the pictures. Look at this. Can't make it bigger, but it reminds me of Idiocracy. When I first saw this, it reminded me of Idiocracy and how they just kind of stack homes on top of each other carelessly, and it looked a lot like that. It really, maybe that's where Mike Judge got the idea. I don't know. There's got to be some other. Yeah, here's some more. I'd be a nervous wreck living like that. I couldn't do that. Too close to people. Also, the stability doesn't look very safe. That's just me. Wow. There you go. Some people think they got it bad where they're living. Interesting, huh? It's the kids. Here it is lit up at night. There you go. Hey, cats. Cute cat. The orange one looks like it's smiling. There you have it, guys. You ready to move into Kowloon, the walled city? There you go. It's a model of it. It just looks like a mess, doesn't it? How would that be a good idea? It would be a good idea if you want to control your citizens, for sure. Pack them all up in the same small area. Easier to control. Monitor. Pope Francis, this guy. Wow. Like every week there's something with this one. Pope Francis creates 13 new cardinals in bizarre COVID-compliant ceremony. I was looking for footage and I couldn't find it. So, bummer. If you guys can find some footage on that, that'd be cool. If you want to share. But yeah, that's it. I think there's some more Pope stuff coming up. Eric Clapton collaborates with Van Morrison. These are a couple of old school rock and roll legends. Collaborates with Van Morrison on anti-lockdown song. Gets called You Know It. You know what's coming. He's against the narrative. They're against the narrative. It's a song that's anti-lockdown, and now he's going to be called the White Supreme Acist. By the way, guys, I don't do that to be funny. I've had people comment like, "You're stupid. You're not even funny when you do that." And I'm not trying to be funny. It's just you got to be careful with some of the words you use here on YouTube. It's no joke. Legendary rock and roll guitarist and vocalist Eric Clapton is collaborating with Van Morrison on a song called Stand and Deliver that's critical of the United Kingdom's laughably stringent crown virus lockdowns and their effects on live music. Predictably, liberals on Twitter are seething uncontrollably over the news. Clapton, the only three-time inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, told Variety magazine that he chose to collaborate with Morrison on the song after finding the effect of lockdowns on musicians deeply upsetting. We must stand up and be counted because we need to find a way out of this mess. The alternative is not worth thinking about. Live music might never recover, Clapton stated. Yeah, isn't that crazy to think about? Morrison, who founded the Save Live Music campaign, said Eric's recording is fantastic and will clearly resonate with the many who share our frustrations, adding, It's heartbreaking to see so many talented musicians lack any meaningful support from the government, but we want to reassure them that we are working hard every day to lobby for the return of live music and to save our industry. The attacks on Clapton from unknown verified profiles on Twitter began almost immediately. Of course, Twitter is just the worst. It is so gross. Buzzwords such as, white supremacist, stemming from Clapton's collaboration with Morrison and off-the-cuff remarks he made on stage in support of British nationalism in 1976, appeared at the vanguard of the outrage machine. And then there's all the poison. Don't need to even read all the poison, but there you go. We know how that is. Thanks-taking and thanks-killing. Student government seeks to change holiday name.
Because a lot of, especially Indigenous students who are very scared to come up, even to join the clubs here on campus because of discrimination, do find it very offensive to use the word Thanksgiving, even though, like you said, the two words thanks and giving are in the more, thank you, Felix. It's culturally inaccurate. It's culturally inaccurate because they didn't give; they were actually taken from them. Their culture was taken from them, their food, their land, and all that such stuff. So that's why, you might be okay with Thanksgiving. A lot of people might be okay with Thanksgiving. It is a federally recognized holiday, but it is also, the federal government is more also on the Christian side. It is more religious in that ways. Not everyone is Christian. Like Sebastian said, there's also other holidays around this time. So, I think to be aware of all the students, especially, me as a trustee, as Dacian as the president, we have to think of all students in mind, not just the ones that are the majority, quote unquote. Recognize, the majority of the federally recognized holidays. You have to think about all of them, so we have to try to be culturally sensitive to everyone, in a way politically correct.
That gets done a lot. Whenever something is bad, horrible, evil, whatever you may describe it, or whatever the public opinion describes it, usually it's giving a sugarcoat name. In this case, it's Thanksgiving, when in reality, like Jocelyn was saying, it was the taking of the land. It was...
right. I can't even finish it, but we know. It's just so funny when I see people caught up on all the small stuff. And yeah, there are some good issues. There's some serious issues there. I mean, I live in a place where there's lots of reservations. I'm quarter Cherokee Indian myself. And almost all these reservations, in front of every home, there's a brand new Chevy truck. I mean, they're getting payments. I know they did something bad in the past. The people did, but very bad. But they've made their reparations, I guess you could say. They even get checks. Indians, if you can prove your heritage, you get a check every year, some every month. I know it's financial a bit, but I'm saying at least they tried. They did something, okay? And we already know where all this talk goes and all the social justice stuff. It's all meant for division. And it's a tactic that's been used before to take down governments. We've seen that here on the show. Cancel culture hits Rockefeller Christmas tree for American exceptionalism and its toxic relationship with nature. Well, I'm no fan of the Rockefellers anyway. Not at all. They have a hand in all of this as well, what's going on. I saw a good breakdown. Somebody wrote an article about that recently. I'll try to pull that up, and not tonight. Maybe we'll pull that up the next time. A member of the Columbia University faculty is calling to cancel the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree for its apparently offensive tradition. As reported by Campus Reform, faculty member and environmental journalist Brian Kahn said that the tree, which has been annually erected since 1931, figured to be 33, causes a toxic relationship with nature. In an article published on Gizmodo titled "Cancel the Rockefeller Christmas Tree for Good," Kahn says that cutting down a tree on a yearly basis, which he says is a veritable island for wildlife, should come to an abrupt halt. Last week, an owl was discovered inside the tree, which was transported more than 170 miles from Onetta, New York, to New York City's Rockefeller Center. Instead of taking the news of the owl discovery in a positive stride, Kahn argued that it was a miracle the bird wasn't crushed during the cutting of the tree or the transportation process. Just people caught up in small things. What's that old saying from Eleanor Roosevelt? Small minds talk about other people. Average minds talk about the news. And bright minds talk about ideas. I think that was it. Something to that effect. Exclusive. University promotes defund the police class? Question mark? Of course. Of course. I thought there was a video on this. I'll just read some. IUPUI, I'm not sure what that is, sent an email to students advertising a new course which the email called Defund the Police, Race Policing and Criminal Justice Reform. So there it is. Oh, that's Indianapolis. Indiana University and Purdue University campuses in Indianapolis. No surprise, guys. Tell you, man, the kids, they get so radicalized in America. It's crazy. My stepsister has a daughter going to college up north. And great kid, and I love her. However, she's definitely getting radicalized. She's bringing a lot of these social justice ideas at her mom now. So there you go. Changed a lot since a year, just since going to college for a year. Christian claims New Jersey Starbucks fired her for refusing to wear Pride t-shirt. According to a report at NBC News, Betsy Freese of Newark, New Jersey, the former employee of the Glen Ridge Starbucks store, claims she was fired in 2019 for refusing to wear an official Starbucks Pride shirt in a federal lawsuit filed last week in U.S. District Court for the District of New Jersey. She alleged that last year she saw a box of Pride t-shirts during a staff meeting with the store's manager. According to the NBC News report, she said she asked her manager if she would be required to wear a Pride shirt and was told she would not. She claimed, nevertheless, that weeks later, an individual from the Starbucks Ethics and Compliance Helpline. Wow, here we go, guys. Now we have Starbucks Ethics and Compliance Helpline contacted her about a request not to wear the t-shirt. So somebody tattled, most likely. Tattletale. Someone's not wearing their Pride shirt. They're probably a white supremacist. She said she told that the individual she did not wish to wear it because it violated her religious beliefs regarding marriage. In August 2019, she said she received a notice that she had been terminated from Starbucks because her comportment was not in compliance with Starbucks' core values. The news report states that termination notice claimed she told her fellow Starbucks employees that they need Jesus when they handed her a Pride t-shirt. How dare she? In the lawsuit, she reportedly argues she believes God created man and woman, that marriage is defined in the Bible as between one man and one woman only, and that any sexual activity which takes place outside of this context is contrary to her understanding of biblical teaching. The report also states that she claims in the lawsuit all people need Jesus and that she holds no enmity to the members of the LGBTQ community. All right, there you go, Starbucks. No surprise. This guy's hard for me to listen to, but he's a good example of the mindset of people from his party. Thanksgiving message from Olbermann. Let's just check this out. This is one of the guys that's calling for Trump and all of his followers to be put in camps and to be cataloged, find out who they are. And there's a lot of people on the left, they say, in America doing that right now.
God damn it.
Oops. I didn't know he did that. Sorry. Here we go. Let's try this.
Policy differences are between maintaining American democracy and substituting racist one-party rule. You're goddamn right that we want to criminalize policy differences that might exist between the outgoing administration and the administration that is about to take over. We not only want that when it comes to an outgoing administration which is criminally guilty of trying to privatize the government, which is criminally negligent in the deaths of 250,000 Americans so far, and which is criminally liable for the current attempted coup. We also want as many members as possible of this corrupt, immoral, anti-democratic outgoing administration indicted, arrested, tried, and imprisoned. We want enough of them in there that they can hold reunions and birthday parties. We want the prisons so filled with Trumps and Trump flunkies and Trump apologists and Trump enablers that we have to convert Trump buildings into new goddamned Trump prisons.
Real nasty piece of work there, isn't he? But hey, guys, that's mainstream news in America for you. What you gonna do? He's a talking head. Got his talking head show, but there you go. Real piece of work, huh? Yeah, this was it. We just watched it. Keith Olbermann wants to convert Trump hotels into prisons for supporters. Just what a nut. But there are people on his side that say very similar things. No need for a Crown 19 vax scheme, says former president of Pfizer. This is from November 28th. One of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer, based in the United States, recently made headlines after announcing the 95% effectiveness of their new vax scheme. Now, in a very controversial statement, the company's former VP and chief scientist of the company, Dr. Michael Yeadon, has said that there is no need for any vax scheme as Crown 19 scamdemic is going to end. According to an article published in Lockdown Skeptics, Dr. Michael wrote, "There's absolutely no need for vax schemes to extinguish the pandemic. I've never heard such nonsense talked about vax schemes. You do not vaccinate people who aren't at risk from a disease. You also don't set about planning to vaccinate millions of fit and healthy people with a vax scheme that hasn't been extensively tested on human subjects." So true, sir. So true. But you just can't get some people to listen. Hey, this is a bit of a doom break. I thought this would be kind of interesting to look at. Look, it's got over 2 million views, so other people recognize something special about this. It really takes you back, though, especially looking at our world right now and how much it's changed. Check out this promotional commercial for Sizzler. It's a restaurant from 1991. It's almost 5 minutes long. We probably won't watch the whole thing, but we'll see. We'll just let it play out for a little bit. Let's take a little trip down memory lane, shall we?
All across America, the song of freedom rings. The song is growing stronger every day. It tells us when we listen to the message that it sings. Let us lift our voices. We can make the choices. We will make the most of all the best that freedom brings. Sizzler is the one who brings us choices. Reaching out across the USA. Each and every day. Get a little freedom in your life.
All over America, a quiet revolution has been taking place. More and more, both parents are working and raising families. Life seems to be moving faster than ever, and Americans have rediscovered, are redefining what's really important in their lives. They want quality in their personal life, in their business life, in the goods they purchase, and in the food they eat. They want good, basic home cooking, quality food, and they want choices, variety, all at a reasonable price. Americans want value.
Sizzler brings the choices that you've been looking for, giving you the right to choose. We're offering much more by holding to traditions, yet changing with the time. Choices and selections, choices of directions, choices that can add a little freedom in your life. Sizzler is the choice of America. Sizzler gives you choices every day. That's the Sizzler way. Get a little freedom.
I keep expecting that window at the front just to crash, and then outside will be a bunch of Antifa protesters and BL plus M. Take a knee. You're all white supremacists.
Appetizers, tantalizing combination platters, all backed with a new kind of courteous, friendly service. Sizzler introduces a new kind
It's kind of a trip, though, isn't it?
two completely
A trip down memory lane. Sizzler's got no choices every day. All right, there you go. Little trip down memory lane, huh? It is kind of crazy to see that and juxtapose it with the world now. Let's Excuse me. YouTube celebrates Thanksgiving, honoring indigenous resistance. Ha! They put Warren up there. I love it. Pocahontas, they call her. Here it is. Let's watch this from YouTube. Gosh dang, man. YouTube. Dude. We already know. We already know. Like I said, hey, I'm grateful my channel's still alive here, just because I've been here so long and there's so many of you, and it's easier to to get stuff out to you this way. But I've got other places set up. If you want to find my other links, look below. But so many people have lost their channels. So many great channels are gone, man. So many. Just all they were doing is just trying to get to the truth of everything. That's it. Anyway, so they wiped out a lot of great people, great channels, destroyed some people's just personal business. Some people were making their living off YouTube and everything else, just talking. And that's gone. But now they're going to really start forcing the agendas down our throats. Wait, I thought there was going to be a video. Maybe not. I guess not. Darn. I swore there was a video. Is this just a GIF? Yeah, I guess it's just a GIF. Let's see. The official YouTube account on Twitter celebrated what it called Unthanksgiving on Thursday, an obscure holiday from the far-left platform claims is meant to honor indigenous resistance. The official account of the Google-owned video platform has not posted any tweets celebrating Thanksgiving, snubbing the holiday, currently being celebrated by its millions of American users, in favor of a 5-tweet thread about Unthanksgiving. Let's see if there's a video on this thread. I know I watched an actual video. People talking and the whole thing, but I guess that's not it. Okay, fine. We get it. We understand. Ooh, what's this? I need to accept cookies. I don't like doing that. Lonely veteran asks for just one person to spend the holidays with. Entire town shows up instead. Love this. This is great. It's an older story, but still, it's from last December, but just want to throw something positive out there. I'm trying here, folks. No, I've got some doom breaks, some other things to share, but I thought this was sweet. On Thanksgiving Eve, a Pennsylvania news station aired its Talkback 16 segment, which local viewers can call in with comments and requests. One of those callers was Carl Braun, a 60-year-old disabled veteran who lives in Archbald, Pennsylvania. He explained that ever since his mother passed away decades ago, his life has been very lonely and isolated. For the past 15 years, Carl has spent each and every birthday and holiday season all by himself. No friends, no family, no special plans. He couldn't remember the last time he had a fun Thanksgiving filled with good food and that warm, cozy feeling. So this time around, Carl took a chance and proclaimed his one simple request. He didn't know who, if anyone, would listen. "I don't want no food," Carl said. "How about some friends? 15 years I haven't had anybody to spend Thanksgiving with, my birthday, Christmas, New Year's. It's getting boring as hell, but I love what you're doing to help other people." Okay. He never expected in his wildest dreams what happened once the station posted about Carl's message on social media. It's what the holiday season is all about. And here we go. Here's the story.
A crowd of over 100 people, mostly strangers, gathered in Archibald on this rainy Thanksgiving morning just to wish one man a happy holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving!
It's like the olden days already, isn't it? Before the masks.
Our viewers heard a simple request during our Talkback 16 segment from a man who has spent his holidays alone for 15 years and just wants someone to keep him company.
I don't want no food. How about some friends? 15 years I haven't had anybody to thank Thanksgiving with. My birthday, Christmas, New Year's.
That one phone call led hundreds of other viewers to reach out to us, asking how they could find this man. We were immediately flooded with phone calls and messages on social media, so we gave him a call back.
But I seriously thought it was a joke.
Nope. We weren't messing around. We learned his name is Carl Braun. He's a 60-year-old disabled veteran who lives in Archbald. We put a call out on social media to meet at a park in the borough so we could surprise him. Mission accomplished.
I just could not believe that that many people did have open hearts that cared.
So dinner's at home, and we hope you enjoy Thanksgiving.
There's some cookies here, and my phone number's in there. If you want somebody to talk to.
Carl went from having no plans and no one to spend the holiday with to having more invitations than he knew what to do with.
We would like to invite you to our house. We live in Archibald. We're going to eat at 4. Can we come and pick you up?
He's already booked for Thanksgiving dinner and a Christmas Eve party.
Since in over 25 years since I've lost my mom, this is one of the first Thanksgivings I can actually say I'm having fun.
Now Carl has one more message he wants you to hear. Keep your heart open all year long, not...
Well, there we go. We missed the end of Carl's message, but that was nice, wasn't it? So great. We have a beautiful story like that. And now we get, check out this horrifying Brazilian testicle mascot. Yeah. This is another older story, but I had never heard of this, and I figured I'd just throw it out there. This was actually a thing. So mascot, apparently, buried in the photo gallery of a recent event attended by the Association of Assistant of Finances. Is that right? I'm not sure. Anyway, Brazilian nonprofit that helps people with cancer is a photo of its horrifying mascot. The mascot, we are told, goes by Mr. Balls, and he works to raise awareness about testicular cancer. According to the AAPC website and courtesy of some Google translating, both children and adults loved taking pictures with the mascot, a friendly snowman in the shape of a testicle. Wow. Yeah, I guess somebody was actually inside of that and hanging out with the kids. Hey, why not? Okay. Oof. Oh, this is somebody recorded Tucker Carlson freaking out about something. I figured we'd check this out here.
You jumped the bandwagon. You're all like, oh, I'm against the globalist elite, blah, blah. Moron. I tried to get you a hearing.
Okay, here we go. He'll start talking in a second.
About Texas. Yeah, that's it. Texas, Texas, Texas. All the rest is bullshit. You can't handle the criticism, can you? We got to be talking about Texas. Yeah, that's it. Texas, Texas, Texas. All the rest is bullshit, in my opinion.
I mean, it feels like I'm at a firefight conference, and no one's allowed to speak about water. That's one of the great moments, maybe the great moment in Davos history. Dr. Bregman is the author of Utopia for Realists, and he joins us now. Mr. Bregman, I can't stop laughing just thinking of that. And part of that makes me wonder, are you the first person ever to note that people are flying private to talk about global warming and that none of them mention tax avoidance? Has anyone ever said that before at Davos? Do you know?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on Davos history, but it is a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yes, it is. And others have noted that. We've noted it on this show. We've just never gone to Davos and said it out loud as you did. So if I was wearing a hat, I would take it off to you. What response did you get?
I mean, they were not very happy with me, but I'm just I think a random Dutch historian who's basically saying whatever around the globe is thinking. You know, the vast majority of Americans, for years and years now, according to the polls, including Fox News viewers and including Republicans, are in favor of higher taxes on the rich. You know, higher inheritance taxes, higher top marginal tax rates, higher wealth taxes. It's all really mainstream. But no one's saying that at Davos, just as no one's saying it on Fox News, right? And I think the explanation for that is quite simple, is that most of the people in Davos, but also here on this channel, have been bought by the billionaire class. You know, you're not meant to say these things. So I just went there and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to say it, just as I'm saying it right here on this channel.
Well, what was interesting, I thought, about what you said was you noted something. I mean, many people have called for higher taxes. Very few.
Well, not on this channel, is it? I mean, almost all of the pundits on this channel for years have been against higher taxes, right? Even though the vast majority of Americans is in favor of it.
I mean, I don't know. It would be interesting to know how many hours of Fox you've watched, but I'm interested in what you said about tax avoidance. So
yeah.
Just because someone faces a specific tax rate does not mean that person pays that tax rate at all. I don't think Netflix, for example, paid any taxes last year at all. So what would you do specifically to make certain that this class of people pays what they're supposed to pay?
Well, it's about multiple things. So we should really crack down on tax paradises and on tax avoidance. That's a major issue. But it's also about having higher taxes. So in the 1950s, for example, in the 1960s, in the golden age of capitalism, as historians called it, we had top marginal tax rate for the very rich of about 70, 80, 90% actually under Eisenhower, the Republican president. And this was also one of the best periods in American history. Same is true for the UK and the rest of Europe. So as a historian, for me, it's all not, it's really not rocket science. We should just go back to simple and straightforward solutions from the past.
Right, but this country was sustained, and since you're a historian, I guess you would know this, sustained by an industrial economy at the time that was broad and deep, that created a middle class. That doesn't exist anymore. So it's an entirely different economy. I wish it did exist.
Oh well, but that's not really an issue. I mean,
work the same way with an entirely different economy?
Well, I think it would. I mean, America is still pretty much the most powerful country in the world, right? So if it really would want to, it could easily crack down on tax paradises. But the thing is, I mean, you guys have brought into power a president that doesn't even want to show its own tax returns. I mean, who knows how many billions he has hidden in the Cayman Islands or in Bermuda. So I think the issue really is one of corruption and of people being bribed and of not being, not talking about the real issues. What the family, what the Murdochs basically want you to do is to scapegoat immigrants instead of talking about tax avoidance. So I'm glad you're now finally raising the issue, but that's what's been happening for the past couple of years.
And I'm taking orders from the Murdochs. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, it doesn't work that directly. But I mean, you've been part of the Cato Institute, right? You've been a senior fellow there for years. You've been taking their dirty money. They're funded by cock billionaires,
Wait, why don't you tell me how it does work?
Well, it works by you taking their dirty money. It's as easy as that. I mean, you are a millionaire funded by billionaires. That's what you are. And I'm glad you now finally jumped the bandwagon, of people like Bernie Sanders and AOC. But you're not part of the solution, Mr. Carlson. You're part of the problem, actually.
AOC, wait, now, but can I just say,
it's true, right? It's true, right? That all the anchors on Fox, they're all millionaires. How is this possible? Well, it's very easy. You're just not talking about certain things.
Fox doesn't even play where you are.
It doesn't play where you are? Well, have you heard of the internet? I can watch things whatever I want, I have, actually. I can't say I'm a great fan of your show, but I do my homework when you invite me on your show. So, I mean, you're probably not going to air this, but I went to Davos to speak truth to power, and I'm doing exactly the same thing right now. You might not like it, but you're a millionaire funded by billionaires, and that's the reason why you're not talking about these issues.
But I am talking about these issues.
Yeah, only now. Come on, you jumped the bandwagon. You're all like, oh, I'm against the globalist elite, blah, blah, blah. It's not very convincing, to be honest.
Why don't you go yourself, you tiny brain, and I hope this gets picked up, because you're a moron. I tried to give you a hearing, but you were too annoying.
You can't handle the criticism, can you?
There's a war on alternative media. There's a war where they're trying to criminalize political expression.
There you have it. Moving on. Class predator, female teacher 27 dodges jail despite sensual massages with 12-year-old girl who she told, "I want to be your wife." There we go. Another creeper. These teachers, man, they just cannot keep their hands to themselves. So many of them, right? This is an epidemic. It's been going on several years now. Really bad. I've done a few compilations over the years of some of the stories. But there's your newest monster. There you go. Don't even want to know the details. Christianity is harmful, must be criminalized, suggests Amnesty International. Amnesty International has suggested Christianity must be criminalized in Australia because it's harmful to individuals who identify as all the letters. The managing director of the Australian Christian Lobby shared on social media yesterday a graphic produced by the international organization. The image was designed to outline the experience of, quote, modern survivors of conversion practices. According to Amnesty International's infographic, examples of modern-day conversion practices in Australia include reading scriptures, prayer, teaching abstinence, and encouraging repentance from what the Bible defines as sin. Note the theme said in response to the graphic, Christianity is harmful. Christian teaching, Christian communities, and Christian expression must be criminal. I guess that's the graphic. I can't quite read it. Can't make it any bigger. But there you go. We get it. We understand. It's all part of the battle. Trump administration, it's from November 25th. Trump administration is rushing to approve dozens of 11th hour policy changes. Among them, the Justice Department is fast-tracking a rule that could reintroduce firing squads and electrocutions to federal executions. So some people have been making out of that maybe there's always the maybe, there's always the TikTok, there's always the, trust the plan stuff. I mean, that's why I never fell in with all that. But sometimes there's some good information that's come out of those areas, and it did help wake a lot of people up, on a certain level. Everyone's on a different level of understanding or a different level of being woke, truly woke into what's going on. So there's some good came out of all of that, of the Q stuff. But there's a lot of people been talking, just in forums I see and whatnot, about if this is all done 11th hour just before Trump proves, or if that's the way it goes, if that's the way what we're given, that Trump proves he's president. And then some people, not me, some people, just people I've seen chatter online, wondering if we'll actually see firing squads with some of these criminals that seem to be getting away with everything right now. We'll see. We'll see. There's also the idea out there that everything looks like evil's winning right now and it's all bad, and then suddenly Trump will win, and then it'll swing back, and then that will cause a true zeitgeist of people who follow Trump and believe in Trump. Not everybody, but a lot of people are just kind of like as zealots will follow and perhaps be like, we'll take the vaccine. Of course, we'll do that for our president. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and we understand there's different angles to this and different possibilities. And we'll see how it all plays out. It'll be interesting. Anyway, thought I'd throw that out there.
Hey guys, enter the show.
Okay, cool. This is a short one. This is my friend Casey from Enter the Stars YouTube channel. You guys know Casey. If you don't, check out his channel, please. Had him on live shows. We've been talking online, different shows, being friends, even outside of YouTube, many, many, many years. Well, last week, our last KJ's What Happened, I wanted to show you guys this news story about that Utah cryptic monument they found, and they didn't have any video. Remember, the video wasn't working on the thing I had. But anyway, I've got a couple of videos on. There's a couple other stories coming up even outside of this. But I still wanted to share this. We'll watch this together. It's only like 5 minutes. So check this out. This is about the monument they found. And he'll explain. I'll let Casey explain.
And during the live show this morning, many of you had mentioned this brand new Utah monolith. Now, I'm going to call this the new Georgia Guidestone. We can actually call it the Utah Guidestone, and I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. But in just a quick look at this particular mysterious object that was supposedly discovered by people flying over in a plane, I made some pretty fascinating discoveries. Now, this thing is 10 feet tall, 3 meters, and just so happened to be discovered on November 18th, the 322nd day of the year. Of course, that's 3/22, Skull and Bones. And we know for a fact that the Georgia Guidestones were erected on 3/22 as well. So there is a definite connection between these two objects. Now, this was 40 years ago. That is another very important number. Now, As far as I can tell, these two objects seem to be about 1,551 miles apart. We don't know the exact location of where this monolith is because they won't tell us the exact location, because according to the story, they're not telling people because they don't want people out in these remote areas looking and searching for this thing, which is very, very suspect as well. But there's something going on here. Definite connection between Georgia Guidestones and this new metal object. Let's read a little bit about this. It says, who embedded a large metal monolith in the remote Utah desert? State wildlife officials are scratching their heads after discovering a bizarre 10-foot tall installation. Now, there are no tracks really going in and out of this thing. It seemed to have been dropped in from the air somehow, very strategically placed. They also talk about how they actually dug this into the solid rock and were able to set it up, and that this was probably very challenging and difficult to do, to actually get it out there. They also surmise that maybe the thing was pinned together, because you can see it's bolted together. There's like paneling on it, and they're not sure if it's solid or not. And of course, they go into all the speculation of what they think this thing's about and make jokes about, of course, all of us, people who break these things down. But look at this. You can almost see some kind of imagery in the rocks here. I don't want to go too far into what this looks like, but it definitely looks like something very bizarre. And they picked this spot for a reason at the base of this canyon. Does not look like it's been there very long. Otherwise, it'd be full of dust and somewhat weathered, maybe even some rust. So they found it on the day that they found it for a very specific reason. And that's the point I'm trying to get at, because they want this to link to the Guidestones. Now, the height of this thing, 10 to 12 feet high, is almost half of what the Guidestones are. About half the height. The Guidestones are about 20 feet tall. This thing's about 10 feet tall. So what is this really about? Well, it's like everything else. It is opposites. And the fact that these two objects are related to one another definitely is something we need to take a look at as the story evolves and unfolds. I want to know the exact kind of metal it's made out of, if it's some kind of alloy. Once we get this thing from the air, I want to look at how it's aligned, where it's pointing to and from, and also the exact GPS coordinate. So far as we can tell, no one has the exact GPS coordinate yet. They mention a Reddit post. And if you guys have any additional information on this object, it is very important that we get down to the bottom of this to expose these people. But the story here, absolutely, is that it is related to the Georgia Guidestone by the date of its discovery, the 322nd day of the year. And the Guidestones were erected on 3/22/1980, 40 years ago. Now, the probable location of this is in the Arches National Park. And here's another creep factor. When you look at all the 666s associated with the Arches National Park. Casey, what does 666 have to do with 322? Well, 3 times 22 is 66. All this stuff's connected. Arches are portals. This is everything we've been talking about. So we have 109.56667 degrees west is where Arches National Park is, and the monument is somewhere in this area of Utah, southwest Utah, so probably somewhere near the Colorado River. And in looking at more of the specs on this, you see there are 66s all throughout. Even the visitors, 1,663,557 visitors in 2018. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. If you guys have any additional information, just pop it down into the comment.
There you go. Excuse me. But short and sweet. It was a good one. Check that out, guys. If you don't know Enter the Stars YouTube channel, please check it out. It's great stuff. Great guy. Great. Okay, check this out here. Melbourne teenager, this is Australia, is choked unconscious and thrown to the floor like a rag doll by hotel security. For what? You guessed it. Not wearing his mask. crazy, right? Leftists suggest re-education camps, firing squads, and banning talk radio to, quote, deprogram 75 million Trump supporters. I told you, man, this is, look at this. There have been a few stories about this. The same idea, you know, coming up from the American left, I guess is a term you can use. Okay, this is, I don't really think there's any connection here, but it says another mysterious monolith has appeared in Dacian Fortress, Romania, Dacian. This is on disclosed screen, the Grim Reaper. I don't know anything about this except this video, so I can't verify, or I don't know, you know, I haven't really looked into it much yet, but I figured I'd share this. Let's check this out.
The twin monolith regarding the one found in Utah. This is right on top of an archaeological site, an old Dacian stronghold. So I'm walking up past here to the old Dacian stronghold, which is right above here. Just to try and take a whole overview of the situation here. So this is considered a holy mountain for the Romanian people. And this is a complete overview with the monolith, which is right here. Okay, so it's got some kind of strange texture on it. Oh my god, light's blinding me. This is interesting.
I think the Utah monolith looks different, right? Looks cleaner. So there's a rabbit hole if you want to jump down that, try to look more into this. The Dacian Fortress, he said, Romania. You can check that out. See if there's any new news on this. This is all I've seen on it so far myself. Oh, okay. This is, I had stopped.
That was just discovered about.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is on Hidden Underbelly 2.0. He even says on this, you know, most likely this is a hoax. It was found on TikTok. Most likely it is, you know, but it's a good one. It's pretty creepy. I figured I'd share, but this is one I'm thinking most likely someone created, but check it out.
A week ago, and a lot of channels have been talking about it. Kind of is leaning towards, but a lot of people are going to the site to check it out for themselves. Now, this particular person drove 15 hours to go see the monolith, only to find it gone. And he seemed to be a bit disappointed, but he needed to be, because something was caught in the background. Now, I'm trying to figure out what this is. This thing looks like a giant bat, or it could be an alien, or it could be somebody just in a costume. Because given that it's coming from TikTok, we do know that we've got to look at it with a bit of scrutiny. But nevertheless, this video looks really good. And I am leaving this one down to you guys to make of it what you will. So, as always,
there you go. Probably somebody in a suit, most likely. Ooh, that's not wanting to play. Let's try this. Oh, okay. This is interesting. These are unidentified underwater objects. And we don't get a lot of this. And I've talked about this right here in the past. This is taking place somewhere in Israel. Eilat Beach. E-I-L-A-T. Let me refresh it. But I'd mentioned throughout the years on different live shows, I've talked about this, but I'd mentioned that my second unit when I was in the Coast Guard was in Maui. Maui, Hawaii. I know, tough job, right? And I bet that station's still out there. It was Malaya Harbor, is where I was at. It's the only Coast Guard in Maui. So it was a 9-man search and rescue detachment, and we had a log that every day you had to write in, like every time someone called something in, because we'd go do rescue. You know, we'd help out people who were, you know, towboats and just whatever, recreational craft, all kinds of things. So you'd have to always log it in this book and write down what was going on. And then if it was serious enough, we'd launch and go help people out. But the guy that I was taking his place, his name was Bo, and he was training me on everything he had been doing for 2 years there. He's about to leave. And I was just coming in. And one night he pulled that logbook out because I'd asked him, I said, have you ever seen anything weird out here? I've always been interested in the weird stuff. You seen UFOs, man, or monsters in the water? You know, always asking stuff like that. But one night he pulled out that logbook. He said, yeah. And he opened it up to maybe a year earlier. And he showed me how one night, and it was over a dozen people called this in, but they said that they were reporting lights under the water just off the coast of like Kihei and kind of the main area there anyway. The big, there's Molokini. It's a little rock just off, maybe 5 miles off the beach from Maui, where a lot of people would go and snorkel. Is really nice snorkeling, but kind of that whole kind of area between where I was at in the harbor and Kihei, people were seeing these lights under the water moving like cars and going really fast and speeding around. It's crazy. I didn't see it. Bo didn't see it, but I read all the things as people were calling it in. And that was something you couldn't joke around with or make up, because that was, you know, we had to use that even legally. You know, we'd have to use those logbooks. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, that being said, somebody filmed this recently at this beach in Israel. This is from December 1st on Mavi777 YouTube channel. And let's check it out. Those lights are massive, by the way. Some building. Oh, there's someone underwater with a spotlight. No, look at the buildings to the left. Those are huge lights there. Did you know that, I'll throw this out there, that's so old school though. Sometimes, you know, people will make fun with some of the paranormal videos, people add in the music, you know, and zoom in and all that, but that's a really old school approach. Look at my videos, some of them from 2012, 2013. I used to love doing that too. You know, I'd add in some music after some footage and, you know, do different angles and try different lenses, or not lenses, but filters. Just for fun. But back in the day when I was doing it, you know, I'd seen other people would do some of that with the UFO videos, and just I liked it. So I've still got some out there like that myself. But anyway, Mavi does that quite a bit. He'll show the footage and then or she, I don't know who this is, and then they'll put the music in and do some of the effects. And that's fine. It kind of takes me back, you know, a little bit. So there you go. Not sure if it's anything paranormal. Not sure if it's UFOs or not, but those are massive lights just on the peninsula there next to these huge buildings. Those are big, big, big lights. They were moving around a bit, so who knows? Who knows for sure? All right. I hope I can play this. Ooh, let's refresh this one. YouTube does that sometimes. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's try this. Okay, we got some more videos, and then I got a bunch of stories, news stories. I guess we'll go through some of these videos here. This one's just weird. I'm not sure what to make of it. Totally insane dentist has been terrorizing his neighbors for over a year.
We're back tonight with an I-Team exclusive. Residents in a Manhattan condo building say they're living in fear because they're being terrorized by their neighbor. An investigative reporter, Sarah Wallace, says there's yet another breaking twist in this saga.
You've been watching me, bro. Yeah. You've been watching me like a little.
The disturbing and bizarre behavior of Dr. George Michael Medeiros caught on multiple security cameras in and around this Chelsea condominium building.
Tell you, I'm gonna go down.
How would you describe how you're living? We're under siege. He runs this building. You have no idea how frightened I am to get into the elevator just to walk the dog.
Residents here say it's a cycle. They call police after Medeiros. A local dentist gets aggressive and sometimes violent.
Hey, Bob!
He's been arrested multiple times and gets right back out.
And it's been scary to this extent that I started to afraid that he's going to blow up the building because he went insane. He's damaged building property. He has literally almost taken the handles off of people's common fire doors. With a baseball bat.
Bob Spiegel says Medeiros viciously attacked his Vespa scooter.
Jumped on it like he had just captured a bear, and he slashed the tires, broke the mirrors, broke the lights, totaled it.
And in this cell phone video, he appears to admit it.
Popped those tires.
I come into the building, I am looking around walls, I am planning moves, how I would defend myself.
This is security video from this past Saturday. Spiegel comes out of a parking garage down the street.
He jumped me on the street, punched me, the cops came. They said they are not allowed to go in.
We buzzed Dr. Medeiros' condo yesterday afternoon. A person answering said the doctor was on the West Coast.
He's in Los Angeles.
Okay, I know this is you, so I'd like to know if you would come down and talk to us.
It turns out he was there. Hours later, an ambulance and cops were called again after Medeiros allegedly threatened to kill Spiegel and bit a security guard the building has hired, says one neighbor who's witnessed scenes like this repeatedly.
Every time the police and the fire trucks and all the EMS coming here, I think we're at hundreds of thousands of dollars to manage this, and still, we're terrorized for 18 months.
The Spiegels say they were told by the DA's office that Medeiros was in court late this afternoon.
Oopsies. Okay, let's do that. It's acting up a little bit tonight, isn't it? Here, we'll get it. We get it. There we go. Okay, this is really good. Black restaurant owner goes on rant after some girls twerk in his establishment. But check this out. Need more people like this in general, in my opinion, out there. All right, let's try that again. Sorry, guys, I got to pause a few things. There we go. Okay, we're going to go full screen on this one. Check this out.
I invested a lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a... Come on! Stop the music, please! Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, taking the prime, taking the pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I'm on men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
Love it. Isn't that great? Love it. All right. I guess I'm going to have to refresh each one of these. That's fine. Okay, this one's weird. If I can get it to scroll. Here we go. Watch as Project Runway in 2019 predicted the future as a contestant named COVID creates an outfit with a face mask.
COVID's look. Would you mind putting your mask back on? Thank you. I had not noticed COVID's detail, this 3D applique. I mean, it just gets better. What do you guys think of this mask? It's sick. I'm so excited. But you must be hot. You should should probably take that.
That's something. And who knows, is it one of those strange cosmic signs, or, you know, is it a ritual? Is this person a part of it, or somebody in the show do this on purpose? Who knows? I wonder about these things.
Am I putting your mask back on? Thank you. I had not noticed COVID's detail, this 3D applique. I mean, it just gets better. What do you guys think of this mask? It's sick. It's but you must be hot. You should probably take that.
Weird. Okay, let's choose that. Try this. This one is scary. This is a really scary one. So get ready. Hope you're ready to be scared. I'm not even going to show you what the title of it is. I'm going to try not to. But it's a girl that's just dancing for a TikTok video in her apartment, and then this happens.
Oh my God, Ariel! Ariel! Off. Who are you? Who are you? Please get off. Please get out. No, please get out. Yes. Who are you? Please get out of my apartment right now. Please get out of my apartment right now. Get out. Get out. Hello? Please come in. Who are you? Who are you? Please get off. Please get out. No, please get out. Yes. Who are you? Please get out of my apartment right now. Please get out of my apartment right now. Get out. Get out. Hello?
For your consideration. That's scary. If that happened, that's very scary. Okay, let's see. I went through earlier and paused the block on all these, but I guess it's... Anyway, this is pretty wild. France looks like a dystopian war zone movie as thousands take on hundreds of cops. France. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, yeah, this is really crazy. If I can just get to it, let's see if we can do this. There we go. All right, we got it. This is what Antifa looks like. An absolute dumpster fire of a human. Antfarta member threatens Andy No's life on video. Andy NGO. If you haven't heard of him, he's one of the guys that gets some of the best footage during a lot of the riot type activity that took place up in Portland and Oregon in general. And I think that whole area, he's probably been to some different states. He's got quite the following, but he gets out there and he does get threatened and messed with all the time. because he exposes a lot of these people and who they are. But check this person out. This is a, this is an Antifa member here.
I'm not welcomed in Portland, Oregon. Well, welcome to my apartment, and it's in Portland. So, fight me if you want to bring a fight over this, okay? Bye! I'm not welcomed in Portland, Oregon. Well, welcome to my apartment, and it's in Portland. So, fight me.
It's like seriously something out of Mad Max. You ever seen Mad Max? The good one, the old school Mel Gibson one. First one. And the second one. And the third one. Nearly 100 goons surround Adamson Barbecue in Toronto so it cannot be opened due to the Crown virus lockdown. Let's see if we can make this a big screen. A few more videos and I've got a few dozen news stories to check out. This is Canada, right? They're trying to shut this guy's business down, obviously. Restaurant.
Look it up. The Great Reset here. The Great Reset. And puppets, man. Yo, they're coming to destroy the economy. You're done with what I wrote.
Free country, right? Good times. This one I haven't had a chance to see, so let's just check this out. 2 women fighting over the last Thanksgiving turkey. The title sounded interesting, so let's see if the footage is.
Fine. I'm taking your car. What? No, you can't take my cart. This is my cart. You can't take my cart. What are you doing, dude? It's my car.
Okay.
Give it back. Fine. I'm taking your car. What? No, you can't take my cart. This is my cart. You can't take my cart. What are you doing, dude? It's my car.
Good boy. John Hopkins pulls down their own study showing crown deaths are hugely inflated. We caught it before they did. Let's see what this is all about.
Welcome everyone to
Oh,
our webinar.
never mind. It's an hour long. Okay. Cool. We get it. Man catches his baby mama cheating with another man. I don't know if I haven't watched this one yet either, but it sounded funny. Sometimes I get a chance to see these. Sometimes I just put them to the side, like, oh, I'll watch that later. So I don't know if this is going to be, let's see. No, we don't need to watch that. It's not something worth sharing. It's probably one of those goofy things I want to watch sometimes. Sage, no hugging, caroling, or playing Monopoly on COVID Christmas, says government advisors. That picture. I've already seen some really disturbing pictures of different Santa Claus setups they're having around the nation, where you can go in and see Santa, but they're all wearing face masks and there's distancing, and it's all it's very sad to see. Not that I ever participated in any of this goofiness around this made-up holiday here. It's a corporate holiday. I know the reason for the season, but that's a whole other thing, right? So we don't think Jesus was really born around that time. Not all of us do. No hugs. UK Health Secretary suggests social distancing still required at Christmas. I don't know if that's a real picture or not, but that's classic if that is. Santa in the globe. All right. There you go. We'll see. It'd be interesting to see how Christmas turns out. Fauci on SCOTUS ruling on religious gatherings, considerable risk for crown virus spread, of course. I showed a video of him doing the same thing on another talk show last week. Let's go ahead and unblock this and check this out. Usually don't use CNBC, but Black Friday shopping in stores craters 52% during the scamdemic as e-commerce sales surge. So yeah, we already know that's what's happening. We're all becoming prisoners. Everyone's staying at home, moving into their, permanently more into their homes, even working from home. Now we're ordering things from home. Movies are moving to on demand. That whole industry is dead and dying. It'll continue pumping out its propaganda and its mind control, but now you'll have to get it on demand, video on demand. So everything's becoming, your home is your everything. You'll always be there and connect with the world through the internet. So, of course, all the shopping is going to be going to Amazon, some of these other online type companies, Walmart, they all have their online sections as well. But that does seem to be what's happening, right? That big shift. These six cities and this state will pay you to move to them. This is from November 28th, so it's recent. I figured I'd just share this with you guys. Maybe some of you are in an interesting situation where, you want to move, you don't know where. You definitely feel like you need to get out of the spot you're in. Looking for options. I don't know, man. Maybe this would be an option. First off, if you want to look it up for yourself, it's Fox Business. These 6 cities in this state will pay you to move to them. And I'll show you some. Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Tulsa Remote Program is offering new residents $10,000 and a membership at a co-working space. The program intends to attract a diverse group of talented professionals across multiple industries to the city. The ideal applicant has a full-time job but can work from anywhere. To be eligible, individuals must be 18 or older, live outside of Oklahoma, be able to work remotely, and be able to move to Tulsa within 6 months. They also must be legally able to work in the U.S. The Ozarks. The Northwest Arkansas Council is offering remote workers $10,000 plus a bicycle to move to Benton and Washington counties. The council has $1 million to offer new residents. It aims to attract science, technology, engineering, mathematics professionals to the area in order to build a richer long-term talent pipeline. To be eligible, future residents must be at least 24 years old, have at least 2 years of work experience, be employed full-time, live outside Arkansas, and be able to relocate there within 6 months. They also need to be U.S. citizens or legally able to work in the U.S. Here's the rest. I won't read every one. Savannah, Georgia. They're offering $2,000. Topeka, Kansas, offering $15,000. Newton, Iowa, up to $10,000. Not bad. Hamilton, Ohio, up to $10,000. Alaska, beautiful, eh? Yep. I guess they get monthly checks and all that. Cool. Nice. There you go. If you're looking for some options, guys, I don't know. Maybe that'll be for you. Let us know. Former Overstock CEO paying team of hackers and cyber sleuths to prove Trump won the election. That's the headline. All that out there. Michelle Obama launches clothing line featuring her most inspirational quotes. Where are some of these? Becoming me, us, more. These are the inspirational quotes. Oh, this is my favorite. When they go low, we go high. I'm pretty sure she didn't make that one up. Anyway, there you go. Get your Michelle Obama t-shirts. Michael Robinson shirts available now. Christmas is around the corner. UK government to roll out vaccine stamps in passports by next year. Wow, UK. No wonder there's a lot of protests out there right now. It's great. It's good to see people trying to stand up. The stamps are being worked on by the Department of Transport as airline bosses throughout the world look to make such restrictions mandatory for traveling. A supporter of the passport stamps Conservative MP James Sunderland told the Telegraph pets need a vaccination passport when traveling between the UK and Europe, and this would be a fantastic way of ensuring freedom of movement for people too. Yep, there you go. There you go. Globalist elites at World Economic Forum. It just kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? Let's move that. Globalist elites at World Economic Forum tell public to start eating weeds. How about that? It's the Great Reset. You're not going to own anything, and you're going to be happy. Report National Health Service will use sensible celebrities to front vaccines campaign. So, of course, we know that the puppets, the paid pretenders, they get awards for pretending. They'll be using, or maybe they'll be sports celebrities, who knows. But we know that the celebrity, the movie, TV show celebrities, reality show celebrities, they'll be used, of course. It'll be interesting to see all the commercials coming out soon. Now, we're never going to see them take it. Now, some of them probably will. I don't know. But it'll probably be like everything else, like with a lot of these governors and mayors being the little kings and queens of their states and their townships and treating everyone else like peasants. Celebrity-backed Time's Up spent big on executive salaries, little on victims of sexual harassment. Of course. It's the headline there. Bette Midler, doctors should sue over Supreme Court protecting rights of super spreader churches and synagogues. Bette Midler, your favorite actress. There you go. Bruce Springsteen, Jon Stewart, John Bon Jovi posed for crown virus billboards in New Jersey. Wear a friggin' mask. Of course. So see, we're just saying. This is what these people do. This is what the puppets have to perform. Pretty little puppets. Bruce Springsteen, Jon Stewart, John Bon Jovi. I would never listen to anything any of these people had to say, ever. Wear a friggin' mask. Mask up, New Jersey. There you go. The celebrities are telling you to, so come on. Right? Get on board. Get on board with the program. World Health Organization urges global governments to manage all social activity. Dr. Michael Ryan, Director of Global Alert and Response of the World Health Organization, told journalists at a press briefing on Monday that pinch points, otherwise known as places where people gather, must be managed. He spoke about numerous types of public areas such as airports, public transportation, and even places like ski resorts that governments must manage, quote unquote, to prevent further spreading of, yeah, you know. He called on governments around the world to investigate all forms of gatherings that lead to people congregating or moving in mass and how they are going to de-risk those processes. So we see where this is going. Yep. See where that's going. You see it. It's falling into place. We're watching that final one world system fall into place in so many ways. We're just on the verge of it. Again, of course, there's that idea. Maybe Trump wins, pulls it around, and then maybe that'll be the false light. You know, then people are going to go crazy and fall the wrong way. But you can't worry about everybody else. You know, we can only do the best we can. Try to even be reasonable about it ourselves. I don't like to make predictions, and it's hard to tell which way some of this stuff's going to go sometimes. A lot of it's speculation. And I don't like doing a lot of that, speculating or just, oh, yeah, you know, the great conjunction's coming. So for sure, you know, on December 21st, be prepared, you know, and all this. Something could happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Just I've lived long enough through all this to see so many things come and go that were potential doomsdays, you know, so it's hard to tell sometimes. Andiamo owner writes letter urging Michigan restaurants to defy shutdown orders and reopen. We need to band together and fight this closure. That's right. Need to see more of this. Oops, that doesn't look good. It looked all messed up, didn't it? The screen. Cuomo orders hospitals to up capacity, warns New York could hit pause if the state reaches a crisis. So he's actually talking about shutting down New York. Great. New York could hit pause again if the state hits a real hospitalization crisis, Cuomo warned Monday, as the number of residents hospitalized with the C19 continue to climb. Get out of here. C19 hospitalizations in the state, I don't even want to, who knows with these numbers? It's just all made up. I don't even want to. Cuomo's just such a little monster, though, isn't he? Okay, here's something interesting someone put out. I'm not, again, guys, I throw a lot of things against the wall. People get mad. I can't believe you believe this. You know, calm down, dude. All right? Relax. Throwing a lot of things out there. It's your job as well to investigate some of this stuff and let us know, you know. But I thought this was interesting. This guy writes, so the day Flynn was pardoned, Comey posted an Instagram of Great Falls Park. Then today, Scavino tweets a video of presidential chopper at Great Falls Park. Then Biden has a great fall at Great Falls Park with his dog Major. How many coincidences before mathematically impossible? So I don't know what it means. I don't know if it means anything. This is the kind of stuff I'll find where people are saying now Biden has a boot, and they'll show all the examples of other people who've worn boots and what it could mean, you know. Cool. Thanks. Oh, this is, I guess you could say kind of a doom break. I'm not sure. Depends on how you take it. Check this out.
What's wrong with your arm? Oh, nothing. I just got the new COVID vaccine. I got a text this morning. Said they could stop by the house and give it to me. No lineups or anything. It's just sometimes there's some side effects, and I have to let them know. But I feel good. What's wrong with your arm? Oh, nothing. I just got the new COVID vaccine. I got a text this morning. Said they could stop by the house and give it to me. No lineups or anything. It's just sometimes there's some side effects, and I have to let them know. But I feel good. What's wrong with your arm?
That's classic. LA County supervisor dines at restaurant hours after voting to ban outdoor dining. Of course, I told you more of this.
Good evening to you. We were tipped off about this by several people within the restaurant industry. They're frustrated by this and feel this is more hypocrisy from our elected leaders. You'll remember last week, Supervisor Kuehl voted to ban all outdoor dining in LA County, said it was too dangerous to allow it. Well, we found out that just hours after she made that vote and hours after she made those comments, she came right here behind us to Il Forno in Santa Monica, where she dined outdoors. And now local restaurant owners, they're upset by this.
Wait a minute. Restaurants are so dangerous, but you're going to go eat in a restaurant? I mean, to me, it just blows me away.
It sends a message that we're getting direction from people that aren't really believing in the decisions that they're making.
Two local restaurant owners responding to Fox 11's exclusive reporting Monday night.
Because they know that it's all BS.
After LA County Supervisor Sheila Kuehl voted to ban outdoor dining last Tuesday, she came right here to Il Forno in Santa Monica and dined outdoors. Rewind the clock to that Board of Supervisors meeting. That's when Kuehl had said outdoor dining was too dangerous to continue to allow during our surge in COVID cases.
And then there's the issue of the 6-foot distance.
They always look like little monsters to me, some of these leaders.
On everyone's part to think that at any restaurant anywhere, the server keeps a 6-foot distance from the table where he or she is taking an order. So the servers are not protected from us, and they're not protected from their other 6 tables that they're serving at that particular time, plus all of the hours in which they're working. So it is a most dangerous situation for them.
Evidently not dangerous enough for the supervisor to get a final restaurant visit in before the ban went into effect on Wednesday. Her spokeswoman telling us, quote, she did dine al fresco at Il Forno on the very last day it was permissible. She loves Il Forno and has been saddened to see it, like so many restaurants, suffer from a decline in revenue. She ate there, taking appropriate precautions, and sadly will not dine there again until our public health orders permit. Michael Voltaggio is a local restaurant owner who was stunned by Kuehl's decision.
For me, it's just proof of the continuous hypocrisy and just the lack of leadership and education as to what's happening right now, and this sort of shoot from the hip mentality that's not doing anyone any good.
Josiah Citron also owns multiple restaurants across LA County.
It's just disappointing that someone would make that decision to go out and eat and obviously not believing what they. I have no idea why you vote that way if you're going to eat in a restaurant. Like, you got to get your last dinner in too before it's over. It makes no sense.
Citron says he even reached out to Kuehl's office to try and talk to her about the decision to ban outdoor dining, but was ignored.
I don't want an apology. Apology is not going to help anybody have money in their pocket. I think we need a reversal of decision.
LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn, who strongly opposed the decision to ban outdoor dining, reacted to our reporting tonight on Fox 11's special report with Alex Michelson.
We have to remember that we who are in public office are held to a very high standard, as we should be. And one of the things I'm realizing with some of these new restrictions, if we can't garner the trust of the public to be with us in this fight against the virus, then we've lost a big battle. And I'm feeling that now, 9 months into this, is we're beginning to lose the trust of the public.
And guys, here's the bottom line with this. Supervisor Kuehl either believes that dining outdoors is safe or she doesn't. She can't have it both ways. That's something she's going to have to explain in the coming days. I did reach out to her office to ask about that. The fact that one moment she's saying it's too dangerous and needs to be banned. A few hours later, she's out here doing exactly what she said is too dangerous. I did not get a response to that line of my questioning.
Good. It's good to see some local news actually talking about something that matters. Oh, this right here is pretty classic. This is from James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Does a lot of these expose type videos. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of him. If not, you should look him up. Look up Project Veritas. And check this out. Listen to what he's actually talking to the president of CNN, Jeff Zucker, at one point.
Washington. You're unmuted. Hey, Jeff Zucker, you there? Hey, this is James O'Keefe. We've been listening to your CNN calls for basically 2 months, recording everything. Just wanted to ask you some questions if you have a minute. Do you still feel you're the most trusted name in news? Because I have to say, from what I've been hearing on these phone calls, I don't know about that. I mean, we got a lot of recordings that indicate you're not really that independent of a journalist.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. So everybody, in light of that, I think what we'll do is we'll set up a new system, and we'll be back with you. We'll do the rest of the call a little bit later.
We're going to release those recordings today at 7 o'clock, so stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. So you just heard me talk to President of CNN, Jeff Zucker, and inform him that that we are going to release a number of recordings today. I unmuted myself into the conference line, and they're still on there. They're listening to me right now. This is being live streamed for those of you still on the call. And we've recorded for a while, and we have clips of various producers talking, the president talking, describing their motives, describing their political philosophy, describing how they don't cover certain things, and certain political parties tell them to cover things a certain way. Lots of little clips that takes us into the minds and hearts of our people, powers that be, that inform us, because government is downstream from media. So we're going to be releasing these tapes thanks to one of our sources. One of our brave insiders has given us this information. And as you can see, they're still milling about on the call. They're listening to me right now. They have to, quote, change their system and get a different dial-in, I guess, now, because we've compromised dial-in. Project.
Well, I guess we need to change the channel, huh? Change the number, huh?
Is that Zucker there?
Story 6 again.
You're unmuted. Hey, Jeff, you still there? Yeah. They're still on there. Yeah, so we don't want to change the channel, really. We want to stay on the channel. We think it's important for the American people to know how you make the sausage, right? How you, to quote Noam Chomsky, manufacture consent. You know, consent should not be manufactured. It should be informed. People should be an informed populace to make informed decisions. So there you have it, folks. Live streaming the CNN 9 a.m. conference call. It was abruptly ended when James O'Keefe. Here it is. AT&T. Isn't that the company that Zucker is being fired from? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they abruptly ended the conference call when I dialed in, and unfortunately for them, we've been recording for a while. So what else can I say? There's not much else to say.
There you go. Be looking for those drops soon, I'm sure. Okay, this is just madness. You know, again, it's a shame some people out there are like this. If it's not a comedy skit, I don't think it is. This seems to be something someone actually filmed, but just check it out. I think it explains itself.
Somebody is another component, right?
Yeah, in Hunt, Ontario.
Fuck off, wait. Somebody is another component, right?
Yeah, in Hunt, Ontario.
Right. I mean, if that's real, that is terribly sad. And you got to think about all the people that are OCD out there, even before this whole thing started, or this program got started, this crown virus situation. Think of all the people in the world that are already OCD and have other difficulties, especially with germs. Now you got this thing going on, so it wouldn't be a surprise to see a rise in people who may act like this man. Army spies to take on anti-vax militants. I think I already showed that earlier. This might be a little video on it, though. Let's see. I think it is.
Thousands of anti-lockdown supporters are joining forces with anti-vaccination groups to oppose the government's measures to curb coronavirus. The so-called Freedom Movement is a growing, broad coalition, including 5G conspiracy theorists, anti-capitalist groups, and coronavirus skeptics. Their movement covers a broad spectrum of people, from those who oppose lockdown measures or don't believe masks are effective, through to people who believe the virus is a method of population control. Their shared belief is that the official information sources on the pandemic cannot be trusted. Conspiracy theories can be characterized by an anti-authority component. They are against the state or shadow groups which they claim control the state. One of the protesters is Ellie, a 28-year-old filmmaker and a theatre producer from London. Piers Corbyn, the older brother of former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, is one of the movement's leaders. The 73-year-old alternative weather forecaster believes that COVID-19 is a lie and founded the group Stop New Normal. He's been arrested 5 times while campaigning against what he calls the plandemic. We met Ellie in East Dulwich in South London. Ellie does not deny the existence of the virus. She is against the coronavirus lockdown measures and feels strongly about protecting civil liberties, which she prioritises above reducing the spread of COVID-19, and above all wants life to go back to normal.
Well, I tend to stick to the facts. I'm not interested in theories. I want to stick to the facts, and therefore the research that I have done is really into official documents by the CDC, by the World Health Organization, by the New England Medical Journal of Medicine, and also the British Medical Journal. And so essentially these are the documents that I rely on. Well, I've been affected quite badly by the lockdown, and I think probably the majority of people have. So in my business, which is a creative field, as an artist, as a filmmaker, as a theatre producer, obviously the theatres have been shut, the film industry has come to a standstill, and we don't actually know when or if there is going to be a recovery. I don't consider myself to be a conspiracy theorist at all. I'm not doubting that there is a novel coronavirus strain out there. But the movement essentially stands for freedom of speech, for our unalienable rights. Now, these have all been crushed. These have all been taken away from us. I support all of the individual movements, such as Stand Up X, Piers Corbyn, Stop New Normal. We all have a similar goal, which is to return to a state where we can live our lives without interference from the government and living in a world without these harsh restrictions. There are lots of overlapping issues and a movement such as this freedom movement that we have here at the moment, which has come out of the COVID-19 lockdown, these draconian measures. I think it attracts people from all sorts of walks of life with all sorts of beliefs. Now, I don't mind anyone's personal beliefs. I haven't researched into 5G as much as I should, but I think that because there are overlapping sort of concerns, I think it attracts lots of people with these beliefs to fight COVID-19, to prevent COVID-19. And the worry is that the testing wouldn't be done that is necessary to provide a safe vaccine. I think that there is reasonable doubt in people's minds about world events of this year, and this is why they are drawn to movements such as Piers Corbyn's Stop New Normal and all the other groups.
If we lose, we will appeal. Whatever happens, if they impose a fine, I will not pay the fine.
Corbyn has been campaigning for different causes, including squatters' rights in the mid-1970s, since he was a student at Imperial College. His current beliefs include claims that Microsoft founder Bill Gates is part of a global cabal, which involves the World Health Organization and Big Pharma, and that 5G and 4G technology is responsible for COVID-19 symptoms, claims that have been comprehensively debunked.
One of the reasons I was targeted is obviously my organisational views on fighting the COVID con. The other is I'm my brother's brother, and that could be also an issue for the police. Those two things together have made it pretty certain they would target me. When people describe me as a conspiracy theorist, they're really saying more about them than me. It says that they know what I'm saying is probably true and they're frightened to admit it. So they're just mouthing nonsense in order to undermine what we're saying. The importance of facts. Well, I'm a scientist, so evidence-based science is the only science, and the facts of investigations are the only facts that count.
All right, we won't watch the whole thing. Like I said, it's 10 minutes. But if you want to watch it, I found it on the times.co.uk. Army spies to take on anti-vax militants. Just a little clip there. Strong Cities Network, a global police force controlled by United Nations. Launched at the United Nations in September 2015, the Strong Cities Network is the first ever global network of mayors, municipal level policymakers, and practitioners united in building social cohesion and community resilience to counter violent extremism in all its forms. Right. Led by the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, comprised of more than 140 cities across 45 countries. The SCN builds collaboration between mayors, political actors, and frontline teams to tackle polarization, hate, and violence in local communities in every major global region. Of course, we know they're doing the opposite of all these things. The Global Parliament of Mayors is a governance body of, by, and for mayors from all continents with a vision to the world in which mayors, their cities, and networks are equal partners in building, you got it, global governance. I wonder, I don't know how to find out, but I wonder how many of the mayors and governors in America that are pulling this kind of stuff now, that they have been ever since Floyd. That's really when it started. And now they're really showing themselves more and more. But I wonder how many of them may be connected to something like this, the Strong Cities Network. I'll look more into this myself. It's a long story. I don't want to read the whole thing, but found this on unitynewsnetwork.co.uk. Check it out. Check it out. Democrat Governor mulls shutting down state for Christmas. It has to stay on the table. It's another example of one of these bozos. Oh, this is really telling. These images tell us that violent Antifa groups are made up of incels, involuntary celibates, for those who don't know. Anarchists turn on each other as Democrats lose control of their rabid Antifa pets. But wait till you see this picture, if I can make it bigger. Look at this. I mean, seriously, just gaze upon this. These are your Antifa members, many of them. I've shown some other images like this in the past that were related to Antifa members' mugshots, and it's always the same thing. It really is. It's like they just look different. To be nice, I'm trying to be nice, but they have a unique look. Am I right? Am I right? There you go. These are of some of these monsters. My opinion, some of these people are behaving like monsters. They think like monsters, just wanting to steal, kill, and destroy. BBC Studios imposes 20% diversity quota on all new productions. So we know there's a lot of that. Diversity, of course. New World Order loves pushing diversity. Wikipedia blacklists Newsmax following post-election popularity boost. That's just something I was reading, but Newsmax is one of those sites that right after Fox really showed themselves during the first part of this election situation. And I mean, I've shown you guys stories here, the news stories out, and even graphs, how Fox has just dropped. I mean, it's dropped. It's below their competitors now, and their competitors are certainly no better. They're even worse. They're all bad. But Fox finally showed itself, and the people said no, and they turned their backs. Many of them went to Newsmax, started really blowing up on YouTube, getting lots of views, You could see the difference. You could see it was becoming really popular, and of course, now you have Wikipedia blacklisting them. So there we go. That's more of that spirit of censorship that's out there, isn't it? Team Biden defends press secretary Jan Psaki's pink hammer and sickle hat. I told you, these people always have a look, don't they? To me, they look like, some of them like monsters. Some of them just look mean. She looks mean there. This picture down here, she's smiling and looks a lot better, but of course she's wearing her pink hammer and sickle hat. And you always find that associated now with the American left ever since Obama. I remember pictures coming out of Obama during the campaign before he actually, became president the first time around. And you would see pictures of Che Guevara and hammers and sickles in all the offices. And same with Acorn, an organization he's closely connected to. A lot of that. Music festivals offer to put on mass vaccinations in Belgium. The Belgian government has set a goal of vaccinating about 70% of the country's population. That's about 8 million people when approved vaccination shots become available. As they do, or as the vaccines are expected to arrive in multi-dose vials for shots to be administered all on the same day, Belgian health authorities are planning to vaccinate people in groups as much as possible. The task will pose many logistical challenges, including the creation of vaccination centers. That sounds fun. Hey, Mom, yeah, will you take me to the vaccination center? We're all going to go to the vaccination centers, guys. I'll see you there. See you in line. The task will pose many logistical challenges, including the creation of vaccination centers that festival organizers say they can help set up. Hey, we'll give you a hand. Enjoying a strong reputation in the music world, Belgian festival experts have proven experience in both building huge pop-up structures and in-crowd management. A lot of those structures for those festivals are filled with occult symbols, of course. You've probably seen some of the videos on that. Maybe you've seen some of the imagery for yourself. Mind control. With the music industry hit hard by the pandemic's economic, several festivals in the French-speaking region of Wallonia and the Brussels area have created a federation to better defend their interests. They have a large network of technicians who are currently unemployed and are ready to help out. Our sector has been at a standstill for many months, and our many staff are eager to bring their creativity and dedication to the fight against the crown virus. There you have it. Belgian police will knock on doors at Christmas to enforce crown virus rules. There's another one. That'll be fun. Pope Francis calls for new social justice to challenge utopia. Okay. Don't even like reading much about that guy, but he's always in the news. I mean, he's always doing something, that little rascal. UK minister, you might be banned from venues without vaccine passport. So, yep, we already know the UK is getting hit hard with that. Tequila bar files to register as church to avoid crown virus lockdown rules. Nice. And this is a purported images of men removing the Utah monolith. So, I don't know. Seems there's more to the story there, huh? I'll look more into it myself. Maybe I can get Casey on. We'll do another show here soon and talk about that and some other things. Red Cross warns fake vaccine news could cause second pandemic. You see where that's so, you can't make it up. It's crazy. CBC journalist brags about ratting out worshipers at church. See if there's here it is. A CBC News journalist posted a video on Twitter bragging about how she ratted out worshipers who attended a church service in British Columbia in violation of the COVID rules. I counted more than 60 people inside the church in Chilliwack, a bold breach of PHO orders to suspend gatherings due to record high COVID cases, tweeted Georgina Smith. Another church nearby was visited by RCMP. Unfortunately, both religious leaders declined to speak with us on camera. The video shows Smith parked some distance from the church as she counts every single person. I mean, I want to see this video. Is this it? Made it private. Okay. Vaccine minister says bars, restaurants, and cinemas will demand proof of vaccination before entry. That's big right there, guys. It's from November 30th. Vaccine minister says bars, restaurants, and cinemas will demand proof of your vaccination before entry. How about that? Speaking with BBC Radio's The World at 1 earlier today, Zahawi responded to the host's question about immunity passports that are registered with a phone app to be allowed to enter a sports stadium or to travel. I think you'll find that restaurants and bars and cinemas and other venues, football stadiums, will probably also use that system, he said. Zahawi went on to explain that the NHS Track and Trace app, the use of which was implemented as a requirement to enter bars and restaurants, had set the pretext for the vaccine eventually being made mandatory to enter such venues. That's so sick. But there it is, man. I mean, it's right there. There it is. Doctor who demanded mandatory mask law pictured partying maskless on boats surrounded by bikini-clad women. It's another example of these guys. Looks like he's having a good time. All right. I was looking for a video. Couldn't find it, but okay. Anyway, just another example. We get it. We got it. And that's actually it. That's it for the stories. Feels like that went fast, but it's been 2 hours almost. So, wow. Put up a little picture there. Jump over here in the chat real quick and just say, hey, guys, thank you all so much for being here, man. I hope you took something out of the stories, found something you're interested in. Maybe you'll dig more into some of these and let us know what you find. Like I said, sometimes people will get angry over things I'll show as if I'm verifying it or this is, I don't know, man. Some of this stuff, we just throw it out there. And I like to see what you guys come up with, what you think. So, like we work together on this. But that's about it, man. I've been working on a new video. Should be up here soon. And, of course, I'll be doing another live show here in the next few days. But just want to thank you all for listening. Thank you, moderators, so much for all you do. And also a huge shout out to my PayPal and Patreon supporters, as always. Really appreciate you guys. You have no idea. If you'd like to support the work, there's links below. And please check them out. And on that note, I always like to end these with a short prayer, guys. So if you don't mind, I'll just say, Heavenly Father, thanks as always for a wonderful place here, or we can just talk about all the things happening here in the world and watch and work together on this. Thanks for this great community, and thanks again for the platform and the place still being safe for now. So thank you for that. To be with us all, Lord. You know, people are on different levels. We understand with all of this, and some people are very scared and still working their way through. So I just pray you're with all of us, Lord, and help us to understand things through your eyes and not be in fear of anything happening now or to come. Thank you. I love you. And in Jesus' name I pray. And that's it, guys. Hey, man, as always, thanks so much. Y'all are wonderful. I appreciate you. I'll have a great night, and I'll be up with some new video or show over the next few days. Till then, take care. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.